guys, welcome to the Centre Bounce. Today's Monday night review crew. Boy, oh boy, Kai. I know we were talking a little bit off air, but it has been carnage. A lot of people in their Supercoach teams. I thought my team score this week wasn't great. It wasn't great, but still did a lot better than some. And then, hey, all these people have got primos out. How's everything going? All the injuries. Going to be a long segment. Here you go, Captain Flash, 100%. Going to talk about some options and other players to bring in as well.
Oh, yeah, it's just been bad. I feel for also all the content creators that make content on Sunday and Monday. I know that the video I planned for Tuesday is already basically pointless because injury news came out 40 or like, you know, when you even just are doing the video and you don't bother to scroll over to Twitter and then like you look at Twitter once you're doing like the upload process and you go, well, that's just stuff that up. That was me today.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, I even just look at some downgrade options. There's one guy, Mr. Riley Bice, who, mate, I've been trying to offload for the past however long. He might end up having to be a keeper in my team just to, maybe not to finish off the trades is not the right word, but just to actually have some semblance of having a team at the moment. There's all these players that went down. We'll talk a little bit about how bad Brad Scott is as a coach and how bad a few others are as well. Rookies are dead. Everyone's dead. Tom Gross went down in cash, even though he scored a 40. Ben Patton didn't score much. My team, I don't know about your team this week, but my team this week, the team value, I don't think changed. So this is a week where I had some rookies playing, and I don't think my team value actually changed. So, yeah, it's a bit rough.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing a lot more red than I am green. I mean, I'm lucky that I just have the big sort of 3 or 4 that did move in. Bailey Smith and Tristan Cherry, but aside from that, you know, you have Horn Francis going down just as much.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Yeah, for myself, I think the biggest downgraders were probably Riley Bice went down too much for me to really afford anyone else. Would have loved him at 375k instead of 354. Bit of a miss there. And then I had the likes of Brayshaw dropped in money, Zach Merritt dropped in money, Nick Dacos dropped in money. I think Sheasel dropped in money. My only 2 premium... Sorry, that's not fair. The only 3 premium mids that I've got that didn't drop in money were bloody Adam Chera, the guy who everyone traded out. Josh Dunkley, who was on a good buy round and a good break even anyway. And then Jordan Dawson, the guy that has a good week every 3 weeks. So, yeah, it's a bit rough.
Yep. Yeah, I have more primos than not that have gone down, I swear. If you take out the common R1, R2, I guess at that point, because those 2 are. But yeah, I think I have more premiums than not that have a break even over 150 this week.
I think
which isn't a good thing.
My big takeaway, we'll get your takeaway from this week that's just happened, but my big takeaway from this week is I finally held my trades. And not held my trade, sorry, held some keeper primos, guys who potentially could be guys that I have the rest of the season. In Chera, held Matt Flynn, held Caleb Daniel, all 3 basically scored hundreds. I was very, very happy because, hey, you know, it could have been a week where a lot of those guys fell off and just was rough. You know, people brought in a few other players that scored sub-hundreds and, you know, dropped off a Chera and a Daniel and a few others.
Yep.
What's your takeaway from this week, Kai?
Oh, I just think that this year's an exceptionally hard year. Yep. I think that there was probably a select, maybe set of 6 or 7 rookies that were good, and then the rest of them were just absolutely sort of pathetic, almost in a way. And the gap there was so large that it almost has, and the job security of rookies, I don't think I've seen it this bad in terms of just either getting ruined by the sub or just being dropped in general. So it's definitely been a bad year, but I mean, that means that just, I'm already almost in, I know that my team and my trades, etc., but I'm not looking as much into sort of those, and I'm already onto sort of the next game. In the women's already almost doing my planning for that.
Well, the lucky thing with AFLW, I'm not sure when it's scheduled to start, but lucky thing with AFLW is they are back for preseason training and whatnot now. And, for some people that, hey, maybe if you're in the top 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, you're doing okay, but otherwise not. Yeah, it's a bit rough. I think I'd love to see the stats on it, but I find it quite hilarious that the 99K Sandy Brock, if I had started him over Sard or half a dozen other players, would have ended up making more money than the rest of them, basically. Would love a stat on it, but I don't think any rookie, maybe guys in the chat will let us know, but I don't think there's been any rookies since like round 6 that have been on the bubble that have actually worked. I'm not sure when like a Cleary came back or a Hewitt came back. That's probably it. I mean, I've got Hustwaite in my team, hasn't worked. Got Gross in my team, hasn't worked. Even guys like Connor Stone haven't been able to make 200K, and we know how bad Sard was. I mean, the guy was lucky to get scaled up 8 points, but even he might be a sub/drop risk this week. So it's not been good. Hopefully Cooper Simpson is one to drop the go. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Sandy Brock's been great. Spargo was on the bubble. He did good so far. There you go, Spargo. But the ownership for a Spargo would be non-existent, really. I think Corey's got him, and that's probably about it. Run through some comments here. Who's hoping the community team went well. There you go. Good afternoon, lads. 2388. Nice work. Very emotional weekend for West Coast supporters. Rip Adam. There you go. Not a big fan of Welcome to Countries, and not sure if you caught it, Kai, but, the lady didn't even get the name right for the right Selwood. So, yeah, it's a bit rough there. Flash, soccer of a week there, 22:39. Yep, there you go. Boyd, in and out, didn't play. I predicted Oscar McInerney being out this week, and that obviously happened. But did you get caught up by the Harry Boyd almost playing conundrum, Kai?
It actually helped me out by getting me a singular more point through Caden Cleary over Elijah Hewitt. But
okay,
I just went through, I was just like, my logic was just like, I hate it because it's not a national reserves comp and he's over there just in case of an injury. And there was some rumors about Caminenti. So I just went, I'm risking about 250 points here. If this comes true, I'm going to take Cleary's 58 over doing that. And I just thought the risk reward profile is just way too risky in that sense, because it would have been a Harry Boyd captaincy instead of Max Gorn score. And that could have say Harry Boyd gets a 50. That's 69 points plus it would have been, about 170, 180 points, I think, in the end, if Harry Boyd scored like a 50. Mm-hmm. And that's even with Gorn going only 120.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. Going to tell you guys straight up, after the trades, I planned Bont Butters Brayshaw Fund. Rises up to, there you go, Captain Flash, mate. You are kicking goals. Top team has McRae, Horn Francis, and Finn. There you go. Well, unless he's got a boost left, he might not be the top team after this week. You've only got McRae and Michael? Who's Michael? Oh, there you go. Sorry, glad I only got McRae. You're replying to him. Oh, all the injuries, going to be a long segment. There you go. Sean, how you doing, Sean? Velo, evening all. My team is dead. Well, there you go.
Velo, I've been saying that for 3 weeks.
Bounce. We do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. Just save a few trades for over the next 4 weeks after this week. You're going to be able to spend, 4 times 3, 12 trades. So currently after this week, I may have 15 trades. I could finish the buy round with 1 trade left, Kai. It is a bit scary. Yeah. And I think some teams may be doing something similar. So, boy, oh boy, it's a bit rough. Do we bring in Bolton, Kai? Do you like Bolton, or is it a bit of a trap?
Oh, what's this? Has Longmire actually decided to play him in the midfield is the big question. Because when he plays in the midfield, because I was having this conversation in preseason with someone saying that they thought it was a small forward, but his numbers suggested he was a midfielder. Last 4 weeks, he's had 46, 26, 52, 48.
Yep.
They're starting to resemble something of what he was getting at Richmond in still a bog average side. That probably suggests to me top 10 forward. I don't know about you, but I don't know if he's going to push that sort of top 6 and be a difference maker in that forward line.
Well, yeah, if we look at the CBAs, as you say, last week 48%, the week before versus Collingwood 52%, and then a little bit of a drop off, probably around the same mark. A lot of contested possessions the last 2 weeks. Really seems to be one of the few that has done well with Hayden Young not in the team. Maybe he's jumped in. Hayden Young's obviously out for quite a while. I'm not sure what this thing means here, but we'll figure it out. Obviously, a couple of really good Supercoach scores, barring the 7 or the 5 in 2 weeks ago. I think he might have.
I don't think I've seen a premium. Yeah. I don't think I've seen a premium non-injured get a lower score than that.
Yeah, he had 7 touches too. So I'm not sure what happened. But he had 7 touches and scored 5.
That's Archer Reed territory.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. That's like Miller Bergman getting injured on like 4. So I think the role's there. It may be a time when we look at my team, for example, hopefully trying to get Ashcroft up to a primo, get him to 400K. Cool, I can offload someone else and get a primo in for him. But like Bailey Smith's there. Jack McRae could be out for a majority of the time. Horn Francis could be out for a majority of the time as well. And if you look at those 2 players out, maybe someone who's 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th in the rankings in our forward line are actually starting to get there. If I pull up Big Footy Wire, always love to use this website if I can, look at the season player rankings in the forward line, gets a bit of an idea in terms of average score who is doing really well. Bailey Smith, obviously, if you got him in just before the price rise, he'd been killing it. You could still almost get him in now, Kai, and just say, take the bait. The guy's phenomenal. Basically, alongside, we're talking about it this week, alongside Gawn and Cherry, almost the captaincy or vice captaincy option every week with the way he's scoring. Warner could be a downgrade for a McRae if you've got some extra money, that kind of thing. Nick Martin as well. Shai Bolton is slowly getting up the ranks, just kind of aided by some poor scores and things like that. Obviously, the 5 puts in quite a lot. So the last 5 weeks, if we take away the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even up to the last 2 weeks before that, basically since the start of the season, is averaging 107 in Supercoach. So if he was averaging 107 in Supercoach, you would take that for 430K. So DPP as well, aided by Hayden Young out. Obviously, the last couple of weeks have been a bit bigger, but it's been okay. So
it could be that type of swing that I could make just to enable me to get a Horn Francis and a McRae to someone and a keeper, because I'm just looking at it right now and it was like, I know Marek has done well, but I feel like Bolton 60K cheaper for maybe 5 points better.
That's like me right now. So if I go
and
potentially
that 60K,
McRae and Bice out.
Yeah. That 60K is between a 530K guy and a 5 or another really good guy, or just leaving me with a lot in the bank for next week just to be able to almost do Bice up straight up and save a trade.
I can almost go a Bolton, McRae, Bice, and then grab another primo and potentially only have 3 rookies left on field. So it's an option. I think if you're going a bit cheap, you can't afford someone else. If you don't have what you can do, Michael, kind of talking about what you're saying. Oh, that's not Kai. That's not Kai. There we go. Talking about that. Cool, you can bring him in if you want. How many are you going to have to hold on to Bice and Daniel? That's the question mark, isn't it? Brad Scott, get in the bin, 100%. Michael, you are going to love Joe's video. I'm going to post it up just after this. He goes off on Brad Scott. Mate, that Essendon loss shouldn't have happened. It is rough. And
that was bad.
I
I don't rate their whole back line. That's how bad they are. I do rate their midfield and their forward line, but their back line, their distributors are absolutely horrendous. I would take Sam Wicks over Andy McGrath at this point in the season with the way he's
100%.
performing at halfbacks.
Well, I mean, it's really been the 1 week of Zach Reid not doing well. I think even just positioning on field, they made him go in and try and be a key defender, which he obviously isn't. Maybe they're trying to do something differently. Maybe they were like, hey, the Dogs have got Norton and Darcy and a few others. We're going to be stuck. But it's just rough. And Sarge should not have been subbed when he did.
Can I just point out this would have been the absolute perfect trade if Horne-Francis and McRae wasn't injured. I'd be able to go Bison Cleary to or Bison Hewitt to Simpson and Bailey Dale, and that would have just been job
perfect.
Done. No, can't do that.
Locked in. For the small number that have Tom Lynch is out next week with delayed concussion. There you go. Callahan gone for 3 to 4. McRae punctured lung. Horne-Francis gone for 4 weeks too, so I think he's back around 14. It is carnage. Team went up 117. There you go. Glad I went Bice to Cherry last week, Michael. Very, very lucky there. Bang Buck could be Matt Rao.
I've just seen a text as well saying Wangadeen Malira is in doubt as well.
Ooh. Naz might be out too, boys and girls. It is a bit rough. Do you have that on Twitter?
Let me figure this out.
Or is that just
I just got a text from one of my mates that I do a lot of fantasy work for that as well, and he just sent me something. In doubt to face Gold Coast this week after landing awkwardly in a marking contest. This is on Twitter. And he came off and checked, was all cleared, but they release info in the next. We basically should just do this show on Tuesday at this point, just because this is just all the injury chaos.
There you go.
That's what is that 4
Matt
or 5
Rao.
premiums now?
Are we keen on Matt Rao? What's your feelings?
I kept on looking at
he's cheap. He's cheap. He's probably my biggest.
But I kept on looking at Anderson because of the draw, didn't you? And you were just like, but he's the one that's going to cop the tag, so I don't want to go there. So Matt Rowell.
Every time.
That's basically how you land on Matt Rowell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Matt Rowell could be that guy though. He's had the hard midfield matchups in Sydney, Brisbane, Western Bulldogs.
Mm.
I actually do rate this as a cheeky pick, not gonna lie. It's 460k. So for those people that are in the 10k, I'll phrase it like this. For those people that pretty much season on the line type of areas that are 10k plus, I actually don't mind it because he comes up against St Kilda, Freo, GWS, Geelong, Melbourne in the next 4 or 5 weeks. And I wouldn't be surprised if I remember looking it up earlier today and saw that Gold Coast were the easiest run for the next 4 or 5 weeks for inside mids or something to that regard. So I'm just trying to quickly bring it up here. Next 6 weeks till the end of the bye, they have the best midfield matchups out of anyone. They have 3 greens and 2 whites, no reds. So that run is the best run in the comp for the next 5 weeks. So if you wanted to put a play on Matt Rowell actually turning his form around, then I would.
Could happen. Nice work. Yeah, he's going to be a bit of a tease alongside a few of these other players. I think my computer is going a bit funny, everybody. So don't hate me if it goes a bit funny. Who needs to go first, McRae or Horne-Francis? If you could only trade one of them, which one would you trade, Kai?
Horne-Francis is effectively going 101, and because I just disregarded that 22. And McRae's going 108. McRae feels like the type of guy that he's going to cop more tags, I feel like, than Jason Horne-Francis, but also I'm just trying to think, is there any for the rest of the year? Port Adelaide has a 0.55, St Kilda have a 0.50. So they're both inside mids are basically the same. Buy-wise, Port Adelaide are on the earlier buy than the likes of St Kilda, and St Kilda also have the easier buy to cover. So I'd probably be, because McRae is higher scorer and has an easier buy to cover, and also for the fact that I would say that there's more likely a chance that McRae returns after his buy than the likes of Horne-Francis does, because he's already been named for 4 weeks, Horne-Francis. And I don't think he's going to return in shorter time than that from a hamstring that looked bad.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd go McRae. I'd keep him.
I think McRae's the keeper too. Horne-Francis as well. I think saw a tweet on the internet. Basically, if Horne-Francis didn't have the 150 in his scoring, he probably wouldn't be that great either. Having a sneaky look at the moment, for those Sandy Brock owners, Jeremy McGovern's return to footy is in the hands of the AFL. It's a process that's becoming more common with 3 specialists involved. So, hey, could end up being Sandy Brock a little bit more, Kai. That 99k gem, the guy that I should have brought in over Sard the week that I didn't, could end up being the one. Brock to the moon, as Michael says here. Just something for you guys there. Thoughts on Archer Reid and Horn Francis out for Cleary, Vicentini, Simpson, and McCluggage. Look, I don't mind Vicentini. It's more about him just holding the spot. And I think this week's performance, round 10, potentially he's done that. I think he could have been ahead of a who did they play? Could have been ahead of a Jordan Sweet. We'll see if he's named this week, but is a sneaky one, has a low break even. Cooper Simpson as well. I think he is great. And McCluggage is probably is the shaky one of that list. Brisbane do have quite a few good players that we all should bring in, James. I'm just worried about the buy round for myself. Maybe there's a better option you can select there. Corey, 2447. Amazing. Corey has been smashing it recently. Might need to look into McRae ins. There you go. I think the community team was under 2,200. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. McRae out hopefully means Boxall gets a run. Kai, what do you reckon?
He should do. I thought he had a really good... Both him and Hustwaite had pretty good VFL games, if I remember correctly. And we even forgot in the injury segment to go over that that Hawthorn article that came out today as well from, was it Gablicek or something?
Well, if you pull it up, we can have a look in a little bit if you want.
Let me just see if I can bring it up, because Newcomb was mentioned. I know that for sure. And so there was a lot of chaos from that that team, if I just remember correctly.
And tell me Newcomb could be out too.
Let me try and find it. Let me try and find it here, because I'm pretty sure they copped it as well.
We'll make it work. Who else went TDK to Marshall, mate? Yeah, the people that did would have been very happy. I mean, if you got him at 500k, you would have made 50k off the trade, which is always good. But yeah, very good there. And we forgot about that too, with all the players who were out, Kai, didn't score that well. TDK was also out this week as well. So yeah, it's not too bad. Managed to get a 24-27. There you go, Cheese. Nice work. 450k. Ooh. Did Joe really bring in Goldie? Yes.
I know someone else that did.
Yes. Joe brought in Goldstein. Goldstein was not the ticket. Tim English based him, and yeah, it's a bit rough. I insta-mute these welcome to countries. There you go. Been getting 50 plus CVAs. Depth for that St Kilda game. There you go. My team has gone up to my personal ever rank of 51-26. There you go, Corey. Congratulations. Kai will bust through the rest of these questions, but let's pull up this article that you've got here. So show us what you want to show.
So Hawthorn out of the the Northern Territory game. Jai Newcomb in a moon boot. They also have Josh Battle with the cork shin. Who else? Connor Nash coming back should hurt Hustwaite, which is annoying. Who else? Jarman Impey remained in Melbourne, so returned. And then Ned Reeves will be out for Lloyd Meek, Jack Gunston returning. Their team could have 5 or 6 changes just based on injuries, plus also the guys that they rested coming back in. It could be utter chaos. So we could have, out of popular players, still TDK, Newcomb, McRae, Jason Horn-Francis, and Callahan, as well as Wangani Malira. That's 6 premiums already in doubt, if not ruled out, on the Monday.
Yeah, it's a bit rough, isn't it? I guess that the shining light is the fact that Hawthorn does play the Saturday game. So at least by Thursday teams, you should have a fair idea of who's in and out. Imagine if this was the situation and then they ended up playing the Sunday night or the Sunday afternoon. There you go. So a Hustwaite being subbed off, finished with 28 disposals, 9 tackles. He would have been fantastic for them. He probably would have ended up helping them win. To be honest, he would have been great for them in that position as well. So, yeah, it's a little bit rough there for Hawthorn. There you go. News on
Yep.
TDK. He's back this week. Also, Horn Francis to Bond. Yep. If you can do it, man. I'm always a big fan. I was looking at a Chera to a Bont and things like that as well. If your buy round's not terrible, it's always good to try and get these players in when they can. So there you go. Zane Dersma had a -3 when he came on as sub. Boy, oh boy. Fraser Garrick once had 3 weeks of a -133 and then a 219. Well, there you go. Is Dogger an option now? I assume we're talking about... totally forget his name.
Luke Jackson.
Luke Jackson could be an option. I did see some stuff about Sean Darcy potentially coming back soon, but that's always been his biggest crux, and I'm a little bit worried with him potentially coming back. Can't wait to talk about Roma on Joe with the... Yeah, there you go. Okay. Mate, if you were a member of the Channel Flash, $5. Here it is, $5 Flash gets you tomorrow to go and talk shit to Joe. It's worth it. $5. $5. Do it. It's gonna be great.
I'll just say this. I'm waiting for the St. Kilda matchups in the next couple of weeks where they have the
half a dozen players
second worst run for basically until the end of the buys for Rucks. They face like 4 red teams. It's on my screen currently. This is sort of how I look at sort of short-term plays in terms of trade in and trade outs. I try and, with having the DFS membership, I can sort of range it, etc. So I look at this, and this is why I went for Cherry over the likes of Marshall, because I just knew that Marshall was cheap, and this is probably one of the things I could have actually factored in. Is just like 300k between them at the time, or almost whatever it was. But I just do not like this run for Marshall in the next little bit, and I just didn't know if that. I thought, and I said this in, I think, my Supercoach video today anyway, that Cherry is probably 15 points better anyway, regardless. And then you put on top of that the 15-point gap or so between their runs in the next 5 or 6 weeks. That's 30 points a week projected that you see them being different. 30 points a week for, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games? That's 150 points potentially. Yes, you are paying up a little bit more, but is Romo even top of the line at that point? Or is it just better to get like a... or is TDK almost holding out a week going to just be better?
Yeah, no, definitely. So if we have a look, we've got a few Callahan questions. We've got a few Horn Francis and a few McRae questions as well. Who's the best run? If we look at inside mids, right? Who has the best run for inside mids the next week or so, the next few weeks? Pull it up.
We'll do. I always do I'll do to the end of the buy rounds because that's sort of what I've been doing it off of.
So
and then
one Matt Rowell. If you're gun enough to pick Matt Rowell or Anderson, obviously Anderson coming off the 150 probably priced a lot of people out. But if you're looking for someone cheap, if you
someone that isn't going to cop a tag.
Someone who potentially cops the tag, but you don't think he cops the tag. Matt Rowell, according to these stats, could be the best trade in this week. Next best trading could be Zach Merritt, but I in no hopes.
Not at this point. 200 break even. You played a week.
I just don't trust him, to be honest. Like I look at Merritt and the way that he played last week just made me. That's how I felt with him last week. It was rough. It was tough. It was just like you watched him. He wasn't even in the middle. They relegated him to the forward line. That's how much Brad Scott sucks as a coach. Put your best inside mid in the forward line and expect him to try and kick goals. It was rough. Hence why Zach Reed didn't score 100 last week. Matt Rowell might be the best pick. Essendon may be a good pick. And then Freo, most people already have a Brayshaw, so that's fine. Collingwood, cheeky Nick Dacos, Kai.
I hope he does something. What's his? Let me just quickly check here. What's his break even? He could run it close to that. A 162. I think he goes 140 plus. Especially, I'll say this. If Will Phillips turns up, he probably goes 100. But if Will Phillips doesn't turn up, he probably goes 145 plus against North Melbourne. I like how their midfield is working at the moment as well. I actually do like the midfield combination they've got and stuff. So I actually think that they should just run it back with what they're currently running with, because it worked on the weekend. Barely, but it worked.
Work, man. Josh Wardlaw. When Wardlaw comes to play, that's it, mate. You're in trouble. So just a couple of options there in terms of matchups coming up. Got a few people talking about Callahan being the price he is. A few people talking about Horn Francis and stuff too. If we have all right, so designated
kickers.
Can we afford anyone? Is it Marek time if you don't have him? Western Bulldogs, it is Dale time, boys and girls. Yep. It is. If you can't afford him, the guy went up 40K. It sucks. But bite the bullet and get Bailey Dale in. He is the one. He is a gun. Makes me feel sad about not having Roberts too, because Roberts is on a tear for the next 3 or 4 weeks, still has a good buy round. The problem I'll say with Roberts is that Sydney's game plan is completely changing. I want to actually just see, I know I'm going to go onto my Twitter itself, but I'm pretty sure in the last couple of, where is it? It would be somewhere here. Is it here? Here it is. You'll see this. Sydney changed up their game style over the week between the Essendon game and the Carlton game. They went back to more of a blood style of tackling more. They were plus 21 tackles up to they were 46 tackles against Essendon. Now they're up to 67 and they were down 38 marks, which does massively impact Roberts and Blakey and Bice. And you saw that and that was all basically because of Sheldrick coming in, that extra midfielder. It allowed more touches into the midfield, and that's just basically what happened. Their more damaging players got the ball more in Neaney and Warner. Yeah. And they won. Yeah. It's rough, man. It's rough. So if you don't have either one of those, Dale's probably the best choice alongside the other guy. Moving down the list, potentially I've been looking at Josh Dacos a little bit. But I think I've got too many round 14 buys at the moment to really do that. So just a couple of options. I think round 14 might be my good buy. Let me just quickly double check. Half forward buy. If we want to go round 14, I'm clean. Look at that. Yeah, it's not bad. Because buys will go by then. I could probably get a Johnny Noble or something dumb like that and do something crazy. Because he's been racking it up. That could have been a 170 from him if he actually disposed of the ball well enough on the weekend. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. If we were to look at a forward, let's say we've got some of these guys, we want to grab a forward, maybe a Bolton or someone like that. Who has the best run forwards coming up? Let's have a quick look, and then we'll go back to some comments too. Adelaide there, North there, Melbourne. Maybe a Giant. No, I don't like the Giant Simpson pick though. Great. Freo aren't that great though. So if you've got a Shy Bolton this week for 900K, you can almost go Shy Bolton and Matt Rowling team. 2 more and just go stuff it. Let's run it. Let's see because I'm almost thinking at that point as well, because the rookies are so bad. You might as well just hope at this point that you get in these underpriced primos at this point and just say, I've got all my rookies off field, and just hope that they can, instead of going 85, 90s, can go that sort of 100, even if it's just 5 or 10 points less. If you get that upgrade 1 week quicker, with how bad these rookies are, that could be worth probably 30, 40 points per week. I can do it, and I've got 46K left. So maybe that's the trade this week. Just go balls deep, grab a couple of players, be happy. A few people talking about Heaney as well, things like that. Yeah, Heaney's a good one, I reckon. Especially with Sydney getting more inside mid help coming back in the form of Mills, I still think Mills, and this is a chat that's been happening within Swan circles, is the Mills coming back this week or next week. I expect him still to have 1 more game in the VFL because he was only on half a game, which is quite hard after he hasn't played a big chunk in like 2 years, basically. That's how long he's been out for. So I expect him to get another game, but Taylor Adams has had 2 games in the VFL and he's put up a decent performance. He could come in for a Justin McInerney for a week, I feel like, and bolster that midfield contested game, which could actually help. It could actually really help Chad Warner out the most, I feel like, because he likes the outside run. And if he gets that more
inside mids with Sheldrick, Rowbottom, and Adams there, it could just help him be on the outside more and get that sort of breakaway, those bounces that he likes to take and stuff like that. That could really help him out.
There you go. Lashcroft and Elijah Hewitt for Anderson Simpson. Love it. Close, did you miss all the injuries week? There you go. Does Kadeen Coleman look good enough? Could be a handy, cheap value option. I would not.
No. And I'll say no because of they have a 6-day break and then a 5-day break. He is going to probably get, if he wasn't already managed in that game, which he was, he is probably going to be in a vest in one of the next couple games. And I'm just trying to quickly look, who do they have? They've got Hawthorn and Essen. Don't be surprised if in the Essendon game he is one of the vests.
There you go. My season could be back. I've got none of these guys that are injured. There you go. Flash. Hewitt for Simpson and Ashcroft to Dunkley. Cool. I think Levi potentially is slowly going out, but this week should be a little bit better for him. Whichever one Kai will pick will take the tag. There you go. Matt Rowell, the skier this week. Rowell only gets tagged by Dunks for some reason. Yeah, tag everyone else. Don't tag Rowell. Naz out. Sinclair more kick-ins, Kai. Rough, because I have neither of them, and it makes me sad.
Sinclair has been the biggest up and down ride. I swear I got him, maybe it was one of the first weeks that we had the review crew on, and I was like, oh, this is an absolute perfect pick. Me and Rookie Coach were going on about it. Since then, I swear he's averaged about 100 maybe, or something like that. He's had 2 mega games, but 2 or 3 absolutely just horrific games. Like he's gone, I think since I grabbed him round 4, round 5, he's gone 118, 108, 70, 99, 83, 124, 131. And now everyone's going to have basically got him for 40 or 50K cheaper than I got him for, something like that. Maybe even 60K cheaper than I got him for. He's on a good run. He's going to go back up in price, and everyone's going to have a 600K premium that I paid full price for, basically.
Yeah, it's a bit rough, isn't it? I wish I had him in my team, but unfortunately, I cannot afford. Currently ranked 39 overall. There you go. Bayside subs. Harass. Quickly, we'll have a bit of a look. Not that we do it normally, but just for you, mate. Let's have a look. Paul, Bayside Spuds. How did I do this before? Did we do it through leagues? Is it leagues when we do it?
Is it?
Here we go. Now we can look at the full team. 1 sec.
Yeah.
We can do it the proper way.
I got
Here is Paras's team. I'm probably butchering your name. Sorry, mate. Sheasel, Zorko, Sinclair, Nice, Roberts, Reed, Trainer. Traded out Trainer. He may be the one to trade out for you this week. O'Connell did well as well. Went up about 35K. So would have loved if you had him. Brayshaw Merritt is such a pain in the ass. Neil, good. Warner, fantastic. Callahan, 100, probably is one that you're thinking of getting rid of. Rosie, 91. Okay. Chera and then Ashcroft there. Cool. And then a completed forward line as well. So doing very, very well, mate. You are going to rise up the rankings. Just need to figure out what you're going to do.
That team's better than my team in about 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I think you've must have had a lot of money on the bench. I mean, you still got Cleary. You still got Moraes there. You've still got a couple of others who can do different things.
He must have hit like the Max Hall, Murphy Reeds and guys like that. Yeah, imagine having in this spot, imagine having someone like even just like a Langford at this point or something like that over like a Moraes or something, because they were probably close enough. Like stuff like that. And you're just looking at, I'm just starting to reflect on all the 50-50 calls I've made and gone, that was wrong. That was wrong. Like just 2 of them were Horn Francis compared to Rankin and Brayshaw compared to Sarong. And I think that they've cost over like 400 points.
There you go. I love the team, mate. I love it. You're doing really well. 1, 2 upgrades potentially left in the side. I mean, Warner can come to the forward line. Horn Francis can become a primo this week. Potentially Jack McRae as well. The only issue is that you do have all 3. So someone will just need to cover. Even if that means, hey, this week you don't trade Horn Francis or you don't trade Callahan. Whichever one you have to have cover with Cleary on the bench and you put him on field for this week, then the following week you trade. Could work out okay for yourself. Horn Francis may even just come back post-bye as well. So you could say, hey, Horn Francis, instead of missing 1 week over the next 2, you now miss the next 2 weeks. Cleary was going to be cover anyway. And then you look to upgrade a Callahan with the shoulder, could be 6 weeks or something. And then McRae, a similar type of thing. So, yeah, really nice team. Really, really. This is something that I would have loved to have. Hopefully I would have been there, but the cash gen is just non-existent for myself.
Yeah.
Getting Nando this week, yep, great at 540k. Should have got him last week, but he's still cheap. McRae missing some, could be good for Philippou. There you go. I'd be a little bit careful of Philippou's fingers too. I think he may have done something in the game. But, you know, with McRae out, obviously there's one less mouth to feed. Hey, gents, ranked 39 overall. Marshall saved my team, 100%. What moves would you do? Callahan, Horn Francis, and McRae. I think with Horn Francis being the cheaper of the 3, I would probably look to offload him first. So off to offload him last. McRae and Callahan plus some money can get you a good player or a couple of really good players. And then you've got Warner to take McRae's spot. So you could get 2 more mids this week if you wanted to. So I would probably look to do that. Keep Horn Francis on the bench and then have Cleary on field for this week. Horn Francis price allows us to get anyone. Yeah, that's what I feel about McRae as well. Cooper Simpson should have got Rising Star 100%. Callahan gone for 3 to 4, so trade him out. There you go. Miller tracking for DPP. I don't think he's there. I really don't think there's anyone there at this point. I think Connor Rose is the only one. So I think Connor Rose is the only one. There was some talk that Zach Merritt DPP. There's some talk about other players DPP, but unfortunately I don't think they can, just due to positioning and whatnot. So there you go. Jai Newcomb Moonboot. Yep, we went through that. Thoughts on Chera and Durden to Simpson and or Sinclair? I don't want to get rid of Chera, but have round 18 for round 12. Yeah, it's rough, man. Post-buy Chera is not bad. If we have a little bit of a quick look for their matchups. 1 second. Matches, fixture. Sorry, guys. Filter, and then team. Carlton. So if we have a bit of a look.
I don't know about that one.
If we have a little bit of a look. So this week, obviously GWS. I don't think Chera cops the tag. Bedford should be back. It's probably Cripps or Hewitt, which might be a better week for Chera. When he's allowed to roam free, he should be okay. You don't tag Chera out of those 3 regardless. Yeah. So Carlton versus Essendon, I think he'll smash them. Essendon, I don't.
How are West Coast a neutral matchup? That's an interesting one.
Yeah. West Coast versus Carlton, they should win there. And then he plays North Melbourne as well. So Chera could be the 480k ticket that actually gets you through the bye rounds. I mean, if you can get a Bontempelli for Chera, okay. But given how well he did last week, it might be on the turn for him. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Voss might have a Voss moment and say, oh, we tried Chera in a good position. We didn't win. So now we're not going to play Chera.
To be fair, the highest midfielder score against West Coast is only Trax 129, and then it goes down to 112 in the last 5 weeks. So no one's actually, they're only a +1 matchup. No one's actually scoring terribly well against them.
Yeah.
So if you just look at this, you got obviously McRae's. There are some numbers here that I'm like, this guy was injured, etc., and stuff like that.
Okay. Will it filter with the Supercoach? If you press, go back. If you press Supercoach, just in the tracking, will it filter via Supercoach if you just press the SC? No, go back to the page you had before. The page you had before. Yep. And just press Supercoach. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So
it doesn't, but
Petrarca bigger score, but Petrarca was kicking goals too.
129, 112, a 108, 106, 111. There's only, 3 scores over 110. And there's a couple that were just over 110. So it's like, is he really that good? And just, I think it's this one as well. I'm just looking at this going, yeah, he faces 3 good matchups, but then comes up against Port Adelaide at that time. If they turn their season around, or are they tanking at that point? Could be interesting, but that's at Port Adelaide. Collingwood are premiership favourites. Brisbane have probably figured out how to play footy at that point. Melbourne are starting actually to, I think, become a negative matchups for mids in the last couple of weeks as well, especially headline mids. And then Hawthorn as well. And then Freo at Freo could be interesting. Gold Coast are a tough team anyway. And then plays Port Adelaide again, just double up. And then Essendon, if there isn't, I mean, he's not going to get tagged as well, which helps, but that's not a kindish run. That's after these 3 games, I really don't see him having an easy game at all for the rest of the year. So I would still be dropping him off here as well because he's got round 11 against GWS. Does Bedford have the ability to tag Cripps? Or is he going to go to a Hewitt or a Chera? Could Chera, just because Bedford is tiny, go get the matchup this week because he was the better one on the weekend?
Look, if you want to have a chance of beating them, I don't think he's the tag, to be fair. So maybe I think the matchups might be getting a bit more one-on-one for the others, and Chera is always the one that lets go. So it ends up being seeing Hewitt all the time. Annoyed Brisbane in the gauntlet. Yeah, there you go, Corey. There you go. This is why West Coast was a buy for St Kilda. Yeah, there you go, mate. Velo. All the cranky St Kilda fans, they're very cranky.
I wanted to change my tip 2 minutes in once I saw it, and I went, West Coast are going to win this game. You could tell 2 minutes in, you were just like, I honestly thought that Waterman or someone like that was going to kick like 7 or 8 in that game just because he looked so on. So I put out a tweet like 2 minutes into the game, like, this will be the game that West Coast win, and then someone's going to kick a bag. I don't think anyone did in the end, but it was just so bad for St Kilda. I mean, Higgins might have been the only one that kicked a bag, and he was on the losing side.
I think he's going for the Coleman too. Bolton and Rowell, as I have to shop at Timu. Big bloopers coming up. Mate, I might be Timu team as well, the way I'm going. Just bringing in 480 keepers. I mean, I missed out on all these good players who were cheap 3 weeks ago when I was still sidewaysing my primos out. So, yeah, just go Timu and see what happens. Cherry's an animal point-scoring beast. Yeah, as North Melbourne gets stronger too, he actually starts to get some hit-outs to advantage. So I think he's the first player, Kai, that I've seen with 0 stats outside of hit-outs that was actually on like 30 points of Supercoach on the weekend. It's bonkers.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's bonkers. He just had hit-outs.
Was it like maybe 4 tackles and 10 hit-outs and was on, what would that be? Something like, he was about 26-26 split. He was pretty even, like his fantasy and Supercoach.
It was pretty good.
I was actually surprised. I want to just quickly look this up as well because I don't think he had as many hit-outs to advantage. And also, I don't know if you were tracking his disposal efficiency early.
Yeah, it was not a great game. So if he had like 20 more disposal efficiency
at one point his disposal efficiency was 12% at one point, like 1 disposal effective out of 8.
Okay. Velo says here, Cherry had 1 disposal and was on 51. So there you go. There you go, Velo.
Yeah, he had 10 hit-outs to advantage at 19%. He didn't even do much. And he only took 1 intercept mark. It was kind of crazy. It was just tackle central between them. I don't know if you saw a tweet that I put out. It was like close to halftime.
But what was the...
If you saw the tweet I put out at halftime, or close to... It was 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Richmond were on 50 and North Melbourne 59 tackles. 8 minutes to go.
We love the tackles, man. We love some tackles.
They had to take them away. There was too many.
There you go. So, yeah, bit rough there. Cherry
22 inside 50. It just stayed inside Richmond's 50 for like 5 minutes, just stoppage after stoppage after stoppage. And the commentators were just like, and at halftime, they've already had more stoppages than a usual game would have in the whole game.
Petition to rename Essendon to season done. There you go. Merritt post buys kills it every year. Yeah, potentially post buy, but I think Essendon needs to change. I mean, if Brad Scott doesn't get them into finals for another year, I think they really need to start having a think about, is Brad Scott the future? Because they've got talent on that team. And yes, they've been smashed by injuries, but
they're not going to get a Longmire, but a Longmire could be the best coach for them just because they have no defense.
There you go. And they've got 3 or 4 selections in the mid-season draft. They need to get some real players in. Looking at Dacos this week for sure. There you go. Role change has hurt him potentially. I think him getting just attention has hurt him a little bit too. Owning Dale is massive.
I think the likes of Pendlebury and Sidebottom both missing a week or something of that regard has kind of just shifted the attention to Dacos or given that big body out of the midfield. I know they still have Ned Long, but no DeGoey and basically no Pendlebury. It's basically Dacos or bust almost out of that midfield because Ned Long, he's going to get those contest possessions, but he's not going to get those, I like to call it the breakaway clearances that are really, really damaging. Like you see the likes of Matt Crouch and Tristan Cherry, they're not going to damage you by their clearance work per se, but it's the players outside of them like an LDU or something like that or a Isaac Rankin that need to be tagged because they can get that breakaway clearance.
Owning Dale's Kai, I have a question. If I could trade Matt Flynn and Jack McRae to Dale and Shai Bolton, would I do it? It means I keep Bice.
Oh, that's rough.
That's my only issue. I keep Bice, but
Bice could even be out of the Sydney side, just given a week in the twos or something like that. There's a worry about that.
That'd be great. Dale, that would
Francis
just top
straight.
Yeah, that'd be
what percentage of teams would become dead after that?
Yep,
just the final nail in the coffin.
Mate, it might be the way to go. If Bice is out plus 4 other primos, mate, teams are gone. Dale for Horn Francis straight swap. I mean, Dale for McRae's only 20k. You can easily do it. Robbed 49 disposals to Bont's 25 and 5 points difference. There you go. North had 92 tackles. Corey, I hope you were at the game. It was fun.
I was on Nank Tackle Watch at that, watching that. He was on 11 or something, or he got scaled down to 10, but he was on 11, I think, with about 4 minutes to go in the second. And I went, he's actually on here potentially if this just continues, but it did open up a little bit.
Took Miller, if he gets DPP, would be a lock potentially. How much is Big Took? I don't know if he's going to get it or
530 or something, 520.
Yeah, he's 546. Look, my only problem with Took Miller, similar to a Rao, is that Took Miller always gets put on the shit jobs. So when they're playing a tougher team and someone needs to be tagged,
I still remember the was it last year tagging Errol Gordon or something?
Yeah, it always ends up
being, and they both went 60.
I think for the position, okay, but he always ends up getting stuck. Now, looking at his scoring, he has been around that 100 mark, and that is good enough for your forwards. So in saying that, maybe he's the right way to go, as you say, but we're waiting for DPPs at that point. Heaney could be a great selection.
Quietly.
Yeah, I know, right? Initiator,
his lowest scores are 99.
Very good score.
Oh, good score, I wish.
Good score. You beat Kai by 200. So there you go.
More, almost 250.
You beat me by over 100, Initiator. So there you go.
Yep.
Heaney played Carlton, just calm it down. There you go. Trade Bice or Hewitt. The one I keep will be on field. Look, I'd probably trade Bice. I think the amount of money that he's going to lose over the next however long, he would need a 120 this week against Melbourne to kind of reset a little bit. So I think he's probably the one to go. I'm sad that he lost some money.
Say this, if you can't get an upgrade out, like a differential upgrade between the two, I'd still rather a Hewitt out over a Bice because the Bice has the ability to go that 100. But if you have, which is most likely possible, a differential trade as in a difference between like a 480 and a 540k trade, I'd definitely trade Bice out.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, boys. Paras. Hope you do well, Matt. Jump on the stream next week. Let us know how you go. Is there a point when you have too many defenders? Thinking of changing McRae to Sinclair via DPP? Look, I don't think so. I think this year, especially...
I might end up with 4 actual midfielder onlys.
Yep. I think this year especially really does feel like you've got the ultra biggers like Bontempelli potentially. But I think this year...
Butters is going to be 570 in 2 weeks' time anyway.
There you go. I feel like the midfielders just aren't scoring as much. It's these carry guys. So much run off halfback is existing this year that you might get a Holmes, you might get a Sinclair, you might get a Sheasel, you might get even like if Nazaya gets DPP. You might want a Josh Dacos as well, just for his level of scoring and the ability to get 110 pluses every week. You might find yourself maybe with a Dunkley, with a Neil, potentially a Bontempelli. Callahan could have got DPP as well if he didn't get injured. So yeah, it's just the way things go, man. These players move to halfback just to score well. So yeah, could end up working out nice. I got the calculator and just have sketched around 3. Cool. 550 Butters pressure. Nice. See what happens. Relies heavily on the mid-season rookies. There you go. We might end up luckily be able to get Dylan Alexander on the show, either in the DPP, like when mid-season draft happens, or a little bit later / earlier, just to talk about some of the players that are available as well. And, he might be the one that can kind of say, hey, this team grabs this guy, he's going to score well. So it might be one to watch. Mid-season happens post round 12. Yep. We may even do a mid-season draft show. I'll speak to Joe about it and see what happens. Could go down to 1 if they get named. Yeah, generally you kind of know. The only thing is I believe the mid-season draft's on a Tuesday or a Wednesday of round 12. And they can only play their first game, I believe, they can't play round 13. So their first game they can play in round 14. And then it goes 14, 15, and then round 16. So the last bye technically is when they'll increase in price if they come into the team and straight away play. So it's a little bit tough. Bedford should tag Walsh. There you go. Shouldn't go to Chera. Break even 65 for Chera. You'll get some cash value. I mean, I don't think you'll get over 500K, but should be okay. Nakos is hurt. He's getting hurt. There you go. Defenders are bigger than mids. Are we looking at teams? Potentially. Guys, Kai, what is on the list for right now? We're going to look at some trade targets. You have us on the stream for an extra half an hour, guys. If you want us to look at some teams, we can do that. If you guys want to talk about some different stuff, we can do that as well. Probably here until about 9 o'clock. So we'll leave it open to the floor. What are you guys interested in? What do you guys want us to cover? I'm going to post up Joe's team review after this. So yeah, just let us know in the chat and we'll go through that. How close is Merritt to getting forward DPP? I don't think he's there. To be honest, I really don't think he's there. They would have posted something up on Twitter. Tim Mitchell, everyone else would have posted stuff. So
it would have. You would have seen it. Like it would have been obvious. I feel like.
Like I think Dacos gets DPP, and then that's it. Really, there you go. Who are the top 3 players to get under 175? I don't even know if there is 3 players. To be honest, I don't think we have 3 players. I think we have Cooper. Simpson, the guy I brought in last week. I don't think Sandy Brock is even... Brock is 181, so there you go, goes under your list. I quite like Sims from Richmond, Nash. So Cooper Simpson, number 1. Sims from Richmond is taking second hitouts. Finished half-time on 38, and then North Melbourne went into gear. Obviously, he did quite well after that. Ended up on a 40-odd, which, next time could be a bit different. They are playing Richmond this week. And I don't even know. Let me just quickly have a bit of a look in our teams. Sheldrick would be a really good one to get in if he holds his spot. He just looks phenomenal. Probably would have been the trade of the round last week if you didn't have him. But he's too expensive. So under 3 matches, let's have a sneaky look. If we go to... Let's go 207K. There really isn't anyone. Let's have a bit of a look while Kai's doing some stuff. I'll have a show of the people. 1 second.
I'm just looking through all the mid-season draftees of last year and trying to figure out when the earliest that they played or anyone. I think Logan Evans was one of the quickest.
Logan Evans would be a good track.
Mid-season draft.
Trade in players potentially for this week. Cooper Simpson with the super low break-even, 124 total points, 71 there. Let me quickly search by break-evens. Oscar McDonald won't play. Cool. Cooper Simpson, -53 break-even. probably the next one to bring in your forward lines. I know some people are looking at offloading a Ben Patton, Connor Stone, Cleary, Hewitt, that type of thing. Is playing halfback. He is probably my pick for this week. Took a few nice intercepts as well. And just that defensive unit, I think him playing allows a Wagner to move closer to the midfield, which seems to be alongside Bolton, one of the people that are taking a lot of what was Hayden Young's points. So I think the durability is there. Nod should come back at some point, but I don't think he's the one that gets affected. Boxall, potentially he comes back if, with McRae out, potentially Boxall comes back. Maybe an upgrade for us in the midfield. He is very cheap. I'm looking for Camporelli to come back. He was named as emergency number 1. So we'll see. He might be named this week. Maybe they're going to shake things up. Jed Buse, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Vicentini, obviously the lowish break even, should make us a bit of money if you have him. I quite like numbers. I quite like Sims. So Cooper Simpson should play regardless. 119K. Number 1. Number 2, if he's named, Boxall probably is there. But not for durability's sake, probably scoring-wise. If you want durability, someone who should play out the season, it's Sims. Could be a slow burn for 150K pretty easily. There you go. Oh, and Velo's saying here, Simpson, agree, Bin, Sims, and then O'Connell for top 4 under 175. There you go. So I would probably go Simpson first, Sims next, O'Connell should play every game just the way they're going, and then Bins as well. And then, rounded off number 5, potentially Boxall. So, yeah, looks okay. It's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yep. Yeah, I was just looking through, and the mid-season draft happened pretty much the exact same time last year on the 29th of May. And I believe the earliest debut that I can find, that would have been round 12. The earliest debut was round 13, which Hutchinson played straight away, basically for the likes of West Coast. And I believe the draft happened on the Wednesday night, and I don't know if it's Tuesday or Wednesday this week. I think it feels like a Wednesday. So yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, I have a feeling that they won't debut anyone straight away, but the round, 13 this year could be the year that they actually debut someone. So yeah.
There you go.
Who would even do that? Richmond, maybe? We could finally get a Essendon DPP. Please, Essendon, pick up a ruckman that actually has DPP.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Shai Bolton spoke about
Crossley.
Is taking a bit of the midfield CBAs, which is great. Outside of his game of a 4, outside of his score of a 5, he is averaging 107. Obviously, that's a bit inflated by his 150 this week. But even take that away, he's still averaging just over 104, 430K. It is decent, and he's fun to watch as well. Time Machine, unfortunately, I cannot. Stock standard 20 trades, boost left, 15K in the bank. Hopefully that is the team name. Let me have a quick look. Guys, we won't go through everyone's teams, but there you go. I assume you're Jake. Let's go, Jake. 20 trades left. Jake, Philo Fish, I hope this is your team, because otherwise I'm looking at some rando's team. Ash, nice. Bit of a DPP, different player. Got Sheasel there, so effectively, there you go. You're starting to load up on some halfbacks in our positions, Kai. 1, 2, 3 rookies left to finish. Potentially Moraes. I like the cash gen on the bench is going to hurt you a little bit. You do have a Cleary / Warner, so one of those to a Simpson this week would probably be my pick. And then look to maybe upgrade an Ashcroft. He is basically where he needs to be in terms of cash gen. If you want to spend a boost, you can this week. It might be the week to do it, to be honest, Philato Fish. It might go Cleary out to a Simpson, bank 150K, and then go an Ashcroft / and McRae out. And then you've got no injured players. it could work fantastic for you. Really have a jump up compared to a lot of people. Spend the boost.
And you might
go
get
Simpson
lucky
out.
that Boxall might come back in to save Moraes.
Well, there you go. So Cleary out is what I would do. Spend your boost. Cleary for Simpson. Ashcroft up to a primo. And then you can go McRae out to a primo. And then you're still getting an upgrade. 2 rookies left on field, which is great. Your buy rounds look okay, at least for round 12.
2 rookies plus the flex.
Yeah, it's fine, man. Kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it. You're doing well. And then it's just about trying to generate some more cash, which is a little bit tough for yourself, but it is what it is a little bit. So, yeah, I love the team. It's working really well. Oh, let's go through a few more of these guys. If you guys can see. Oh, sorry. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at something you guys can see. Yeah, so Ash, Zorko, Sinclair, full back line comparatively, full almost forward line. Lindsay, Sard, Ashcroft there. I would trade out Cleary, spend your boost, trade out Cleary to Simpson. They'll go McRae, Ashcroft out, and then grab 2 more primos here. You could go at Chad Warner and then someone else to finish off this F6 position. And then I think you'd do okay. The only shame is you don't have a forward to go from here to here, but that's okay. You can grab a couple of good players from that position. If you want to. Horn Francis down to... Ooh, let me figure this out. Horn Francis down to Dundee.
Might want to switch to my screen.
Oh.
Supercoach might just be saved.
There you go. There you go.
Please.
Maybe no more sub.
For the sake of our sanity.
No more sub, everybody. Okay, scroll down. What did it say about Clarko?
Probably just that he's meeting with.
Yeah, he's meeting with a few of them.
Yeah.
No more sub, everybody.
Moreau, sub, soft cap, umpiring. Yeah, umpiring. Yeah, I might want to fix that.
Thoughts on Horn Francis down to Dante and bank cash for a double upgrade next week, or just go to Dale/Clark? Look, I think Dale is a must-have at the moment. If you can support him, you can get through round 12 by Dale is going to go bonkers. His run is fantastic. I saw a Scooby, if you guys are watching him on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. Dale, when he does things like 23 kicks, is averaging a 117. So, yeah, it is bananas. It is really, really good in terms of scoring. So, maybe the time to get him in. Should have got him last week. Obviously, missed out on that. Don't miss out on him again if you can afford it. Some of us just don't have the DPP swap.
We'll get there eventually. Yeah, here it is.
Captain's 23. Oh, boys, I don't want to go through too many of these. Let's go. We've got a couple of teams here. We'll try and finish off at 9 o'clock for everybody, but let's pump through some teams.
There we go. So
you got it. Cool.
Yeah. Let me make this a little bit more viewable, at least. Does that work? Nope, that's actually harder to see it. Anyway, there we go. That should make it.
I probably wouldn't, if you can afford it, I would probably go bias up and not go. If you don't have any boosts left, flash.
219k in the bank, 550k. Just go Sinclair, swap into the back line and bice to a primo midfielder.
Well, I'm even thinking something a bit. I'm even thinking something a bit different. I would say, what is Bolton? What's his break even? If it's like
you could probably do
-8.
Could he get 2?
You can get 2 primos in this week, or at least get 1.5 primos. I want you to get you got Bailey Dale. Perfect. All right, do the trades you're doing. Do it. I was thinking of Bailey Dale. You don't need to worry about it. I will do the trades you're doing. Kicking goals, mate. No dramas there. Save some cash for next week as well. Heading into the buy rounds, you're doing fantastic. All about DP. Here we go, Kai. Smash out a few of these and then we'll figure it out. 1 boost, 18 trades left. Who are you trading in and out of my team? Well, we spoke about Simpson being a must-have for this week. If you don't have him, cool, you don't have a Simpson. Let's look at the injured players first. You've got 2 forward line players that are injured. Okay, 2 forward line players that are injured. The rest are not injured. So you're okay.
And a lot of
Cleary can go
defenders in the
on field.
midfield.
That's fine. You can go a Cleary on field for a Horn Francis and then trade a McRae if you want to. That might be the play to grab someone in a position. You do have quite a few good players. I think Simpson is a must-have, though. Potentially, Kako goes out for Simpson, which gives you some money, and then use to upgrade. Where would you upgrade with this team? That's the only issue. You don't have much money left. 36 point thingies. Cleary to Simpson gives you 150. So we're looking at about 180k. You really can't afford too many. Let me see. And you don't have a DPP swap, which would be fun. Okay. Let me know, Anthony. Try it with your team. No, go back.
I clicked one button and it stuffed it all up.
Anthony, let me know with your team. This is bonkers, yeah? Can you go Cleary out for Simpson? Or Cleary, let's pretend Cleary out for Simpson. Can you go... Ooh, who are we going to do? So Cleary and Trainer are going to go... Oh, no, you can't. You can't do it. I originally wanted you to go Cleary out, Trainer out, move Dacos to there, move Kako up, and then grab a primo forward line player. I wanted you to try and do that if you could grab a Shy Bolton. But I think you're going to be hampered a little bit by $1 million on your bench in the team. So McRae probably needs to go out. You just need to grab someone, and then you don't have the money in the midfield to spend on anybody. That's the only problem you have. You know what I would probably look to do? Try and grab a Ruckman.
He has 460k. Whatever 460k from Trainer and the Cleary down to Simpson gets him 460k to get a forward. That's enough to get try his hand with a Bolton. And then he has the capability of holding both McRae and Horn Francis, which would be a little bit iffy. A little bit. Because he's got no... That's the problem here is this lockout here.
You know what you could do? Be a bit tricky. Go Cleary and Trainer out. Josh Dacos up. Grab a Simpson. Swap Luke Jackson and Flynn. So you've got the flex, and then grab Shy Bolton in the flex. We'll see. See if it's too much. But chuck Bolton in the team. It might work okay for you. Gives you a potential primo upgrade. At the very least, it will allow you to hold McRae or Horn Francis. If you don't want to, let's pretend you don't want to. Let's pretend you don't care. You want to hold Trainer in your team. I would probably look at trading out a Trainer or trading out a Cleary. Cleary to Simpson, I think, would probably be the best bet for yourself if you can, or a Kako to a Simpson. And then, okay, Cleary to Simpson, how much money did you have? 36k. Cleary to Simpson gives you 180. Cool. If you want it to be really cheeky, Cleary to Simpson, and then go McRae to a Bontempelli. And you can do it via putting Jackson into your forward line, Flynn to R2, McRae to Bontempelli. That would be what I'm looking at. If you want to do that, grab yourself the Bont. And it means that you probably have one less dead rookie in the midfield too. One less player on field. So Cleary out, Simpson in. Jackson moves to the forward line, swaps with Flynn, or Jackson and Flynn just swaps. Then Jackson goes to the forward line where McRae's playing. Chuck him on there. You've got Kako covering Horn Francis a week. Oh, well, too bad. Horn Francis should be back post-bye anyway, so you should be okay. Hopefully that works.
665. Probably.
Yeah, Bolton has DPP. Could have put him in the mid. But if you didn't want to do that, you could grab Bolton in the midfield this week as well if you wanted to keep a McRae or Horn Francis, but you could turn McRae into Bontempelli pretty easily if you wanted to do that too. Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at more. Matt Kennedy could be fine. Yeah, that's the top four. Apparently Merritt got 81% CBAs against Bulldogs. Yeah, I don't think so either, unless he got the CBAs and just ran to the forward line, or they weren't many CBAs and then he just ended up staying in the forward lines as well. Thoughts on Lorenz potentially coming back to replace Horn Francis could happen. The only problem is Horn Francis is probably due back just after the bye. So Lorenz is going to play 1 week. And Moraes did all right on the weekend. So I assume he's the one that is going to be there. The Wizards year, Kai, let's quickly have a look at this. We'll go through some of the teams. We've got a couple more left. And we'll try and head off at 9 o'clock, maybe 2 or 3 minutes on each if we can. Got it there. Cool. Heaney, I want to go green, but cooked for the round 16. Well, if you're cooked, don't do it. Cheers, fellas. No worries. Who do you think is better for the rest of the year, Sarong or Heaney? Right? Sarong or Heaney for the rest of the year?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Heaney's probably got the top end scoring. I'd probably go Heaney just because Sydney's going to start getting some help back, which could actually really help him. Because it's basically been, if Chad Warner isn't in form, tag Heaney and you beat Sydney. And it's starting to not become that now, potentially with other more experienced players out. Like Sydney's upgrading like a Corey Warner to a Taylor Adams and stuff like that. They're going to move probably a Bice, maybe even to like a Callum Mills and stuff like that. And suddenly Sydney starts to become a lot more experienced and a lot more dangerous, it feels like. So yeah. I would be going that over Sarong, who can't do anything other than contested handballs at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's fair. 2 boosts left. Sports Nut, perfect. I love a boost. All right. What I would do with your team
in the bank as well.
Yeah. What I would try and do in your team is get some rookies off the field if you can. Do some upgrades.
What's Max Hall's?
Do some
okay, 64. You could move that.
I would be looking at a Cleary out to a Simpson.
What's Cleary?
And we're going to say Horn Francis. We're holding Horn Francis. He's the one potentially that I would be maybe looking at holding this week.
You could probably almost hold both if you move Cleary to.
I want to do some sneaky stuff. Stuff. So if you can hold a Horn Francis for this week,
that would be 280.
I'm looking at trading out Bice. I'm looking at trading out Bice and McRae. So hold Horn Francis if you can. Bice turns into 1 Bailey Dale with the money that you have in the bank, or close enough via a Cleary, and then a McRae up to whoever you want to get. You might even be tricky and say, stuff Bailey Dale, I want to get Bontempelli in the midfield. You can do that via Sinclair and via a Cornerstone if you want to be a bit sneaky. So it may be a way to go. You just got to move Cornerstone down, which in essence is 2 players out.
Yeah. I could see that. I could also see if he wanted to, if he was feeling very, very... Oh, he's got Flynn as well. He could honestly... Could he get a... He couldn't do that. So that could be interesting, just going through the scenarios there. I could even see just holding a Horn Francis as a potential, or one of the two, even both of them.
I think if you have both. I think if you have both.
He could hold both.
Horn Francis is the hold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Purely for the fact like the scoring might be close. It's just that Horn Francis might be back before McRae and will have already had his bye.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yep. Because I'm just looking at, can he get potentially someone up, like potentially, because he'll have, say this is outlandish, but say he did a Max Hall down to a Cooper Simpson, you gain 200k on that move alone, 204k or so. Then you add the 148, that gives you 352k. Could you move a Mitch Nevitt up to someone and then have Gross suddenly on your bench? And then for 1 to 2 weeks, all you have to play is Cleary and also Cooper Simpson. And then suddenly you've got, in 2 weeks' time, you'll have only, if you haven't upgraded, Lindsay and Bice as your rookies. Suddenly, if you're very, very sort of don't think the timelines are going to be that long for Horn Francis and McRae, suddenly in 2 weeks' time, everyone's still going to have 3 or potentially 2 rookies, whereas you're going to have probably 1, if not none.
you could be even trickier sports nut if you wanted to, and
Could
go
almost get Dale.
never out for Simpson, and then move Hall to the midfield, giving you a nice DPP swing.
Yeah, and then upgrade Bice.
Then upgrade Bice,
Bice
Sinclair, and
Bice
grab
would
it.
get it.
But Bice, upgrade Bice to Dale, or upgrade Bice to a nice midfield.
Let me just do the. I'm pretty sure what you're saying would have 30k spare, like all that much left.
And
but I'm just going to quickly.
You've got Max Hall left to upgrade. You've still got Cleary left to upgrade. You've only got 2 mids left as well. And Max Hall just plays alongside Lindsay.
Yeah, so it would give him 400. It would give him 571k and back Dale's 539. So 32k spare. That also helps with upgrading next week, but it also gives you Max Hall and Lindsay next week. That would be 640 before cash changes, before price changes with Lindsay and Hall next week, needing only maybe 650, 30k to get someone really good in that spot next week with Lindsay up.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You pretty much set your trades up for 2 weeks.
If we get a good mid-season rookie, you could almost go Hall to that player and then Lindsay up to a Bontempelli just after his bye, which would be juiced.
Yep.
Maybe have a look at doing that.
That's without even boosts. That's how good his setup is. Like next week, after this week, you could honestly boost something like a Lindsay, Hall, and maybe there probably isn't going to be a rookie, but potentially something like a Lindsay, Hall, and Cleary or something at that point to just getting a primo plus potentially 2 job security players or a job security player and a 99k rookie or something like that. I don't know exactly, but hopefully something pops up soon.
I think we'll get some good DPPs. So
yeah, there's a McCartney guy that I've been hearing that is absolutely taking the piss in the VFL.
Right. Go back.
Oh no.
I just want to do the final change and sports nut, and then we'll go to the next team. Just after we've done some playing around with your team, set yourself up for the bye rounds. Never out for Simpson via Max Hall. Use the remaining money you've got left to go Bice to Dale.
Oh yeah.
Your bye rounds should be okay. And
he could do. You know what he could do next week? He's potentially got the ability to go after that week to go Max Hall and Matt Flynn to like Bontempelli and a rookie.
Yep. Exactly. Hall and Flynn.
Don't even have to think about your trades for 2 weeks.
Done. All right. Let's go through some more thoughts on Heaney. Want to go him? We've done that as well. Sarong or Heaney. Thoughts on Pryor and Cleary to Noah Anderson and Simpson. I like it. I think both are probably cashed out. The only thing with Pryor now is that the bye rounds have come so close that if you've got some guys in your defense who are playing round 13, are missing out on round 12 and potentially round 13, Pryor covers both of those weeks. So he still should have a little bit of money left. Let me quickly check Pryor's break even. Pryor's break even is still at 29. So Hawks, you might want to just keep him until his bye round and say, cool, he's made us some money. He'll still continue to make a little bit of money. He plays Richmond this week, who he should still 70s, go okay
let's just say well. 70s.
Yeah.
Oh, that's broken.
And I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay.
He should reach 340.
Bye round. Yeah, that would be my thing. Potentially hold until his bye round, and then look to offload him after that. And yeah, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Worth keeping rookies like Ashcroft, Cleary, Hewitt, Bice over the buys, upgrade to the dead ones. I think we've got a couple of questions about dead rookies. I think cash gen over the buy rounds is really going to suck. So if you've got these guys who you can offload to a 99k MSD player and then do an upgrade in a week, maybe the way to go, especially with a lot of our teams now. Like we've already spoken about it today, but some teams have 3-4 players out from 1 week of just like death. So I would be a little bit careful of that happening again. No cash gen on my bench has killed my team. I don't want it to happen to you guys. So you sometimes it's a good time if you've got too many dead rookies, flip them off. Say, see you later, mate. And we'll see what happens there. Nush, 17 trades, no boosts. How many rookies left? That's generally what we do when we first have a look. So 2 in the back line makes 2, Lindsay makes 3, and then Cleary makes 4. Okay, 4 rookies is not terrible. Gross, plus Gross as well. I thought that was Flynn. It's a bit rough.
Ooh,
how smashed are you by dead players this week? Only the 1. So not too bad there. Sardis is still on the bench. So you can do some funky stuff if you want. You have potential to do things. If you really wanted to, Simpson is probably the one you want to get in this week. You can do that via trading out Sartis to Simpson. So you bank about 99K, which would give you 130K, which could allow you to do some funky stuff if you wanted to. That would be... can you do it? I want Cleary to turn into Shy Bolton by a trainer. You don't have DPP yet. All right. Pattern for trainer still gives him a playing rookie in the back line. Cleary out for Simpson. All right, cool. So what I would do, if you can, Mr. Nush, pattern swap with trainer. So trade trainer, pattern goes to the position. Go Simpson instead, and then you can go Cleary up to Shy Bolton. And then you've got 3 rookies left. That's what I
mean, it does mean that he has to hold
That's all right. You got Durden on.
Play a Durden over McRae, which is rough.
It's okay.
It's better than nothing.
And it gets you a cheapo player. Your problem is dead cash, and you need to be as cheap as you can. Every guy who's 420K, you've got to get him in to just finish off your team. I'm in a similar position now. I'm not enjoying things, but mine looks a tiny bit better than yours. So that's what you've got to do. Unfortunately, that's what we've got to do.
Yep.
Dylan Moore, 375K. I probably wouldn't. Some people advocated for him to come in earlier during the season. It has not worked out well. 27K need advice, team name Buku, with lots of coups in there. A couple more minutes, guys. We'll finish off some more questions and then we'll head off after that. Thank you very much for people if you've jumped on. If it's your first time, consider subbing to the channel. Consider jumping on as a member. We do our live streams on Tuesdays exclusively for members, and you guys get access to our members team that is not doing terribly this year. So hopefully you guys can check that out. Joe's team review will be out after this as well.
I would say this is a simple. Oh, but he's got both of both.
That forward line is in trouble. That forward line's in a bit of trouble. You know what you can do? Yeah, go for it. I'm
going to get that on.
Do you have any, Bazlanka, do you have any money?
Oh, he's got still in the chat.
Oh,
27K.
That's rank 27.
Oh, okay. Rank. I hope he has more than 27K. Then.
Bazlanka, how much money do you have? If you're still watching, chuck in the money.
Just looking through.
Ethan, you can reverse your trades, mate. You can. You just go undo trades at the top underneath your team name. You can just reverse. It's teams are not locked out until they're locked out. Yeah, I know you're asking. While Kai has a look at that, let me just my team.
So
on there, add to stage. Sorry, Kai. Up here, mate. Look, undo changes. Yeah, undo changes. That's all you need to do.
354. Sorry. 354 plus 323, 677K. Can he do any damage? He can't do any damage with that. I think this could be.
Yeah. I start to look. What I like to do.
This could be a Bison Stone to a to the likes of a to the likes of Bolton and Simpson type of move.
Yeah.
Unless he moves on Horn Francis.
Yeah.
Then Horn Francis would be the one. Horn Francis would give him anyone know what Bolton is? Is he 420 or so?
He's like 430.
420. Yeah. Gives him about 80K on Tobias. Would be 430. How much does he have in the bank? Or has he not responded?
He has
19K.
19K. Yep.
So we
You know
have
what?
about. I
Yeah,
just
go.
don't know if there's enough money to make a big Horn Francis and Bice to anyone. That's the problem.
Yep. And that's what I was about to say with this idea as well. What I would look to do with this type of team, just due to the fact that you don't have a huge amount of cash in on your bench. You've got a couple of dead players like I do. It happens. Connor Stone to Simpson is the way to go first. You want to hold ranks, and with a team like this, the way you gain an advantage is having players playing through the bye rounds. Works out nice. So I would go Connor Stone to Simpson first. Sure. I would go a Bice up to a Bolton now. And then what that allows you to do is it allows you to have a Cleary and a Simpson on field, potentially for a McRae and Horn Francis for a couple of weeks. It's not going to be ideal, but it does allow you to focus the money that you do have on other positions in the field. McRae and Horn Francis are going to be keepers. It's just that they're not keepers for right now. I don't see McRae coming back from injury and losing his role and just not scoring anything ever again. If it comes out that he misses 15 weeks, then of course we have to trade him out. But the beautiful thing is he's not going to lose money at that point. I would be looking at Simpson for Stone, Bice up to a Bolton or something if you can. And then, hey, presto, you've got a couple of players there. You at least don't have any donuts. The bye rounds are coming. Your back line is done. You're not going to get smashed by round 12 as much as what other people are. You should be okay. That would be my kind of plan at the moment. Bolton has DPP. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, not too bad there, Kai. 10 more minutes, Kai, and then we'll be done. 9:20 on the dot, fellas. That's it. We're done. Do I get rid of dead rookies? It's an interesting position to be in. Maybe we'll look at Sheasel 3 votes if you pull it up. One of the things that kills a lot of teams during the bye rounds is not having 18 players playing.
I would say not having 20 or so, because I think 21, 22, you're sort of battling, you're getting an advantage of maybe 5 to 10 points, but that 19th and 20th player are like I was working out today. Let's just take, for instance, my team this week. For instance, if it will load, because it's taking forever. But I'm pretty sure if you were to look at my team and to see the players, I had Horn Francis on 22. Let's look at this. Horn Francis on 22, Caden Cleary on 58, 47, 55. So my lowest takeable score, my lowest best 18 score was a 67. But if I take 2 of those players out and only have 20 playing, let's just take the lowest, the next 2 lowest off. Suddenly that is a 55 that's suddenly counting towards my team. And then if another one drops off, then that's another 8 points. Whereas if you look at that again, I would have only lost like another 2-3 points for every extra one from that 20th to 22nd player. But once you start getting down to that 18 to 20, even below, not even counting players, you're losing 10, 15 points per player because you're starting to have guys that have stinkers. And I got pretty lucky with my rookies all getting sort of 50, 60s. There's no sort of 30 scorers. But I think that can easily happen if you have, like, say, a Day Wicks trying to cover or something like that. That could cause chaos. Or just a sub.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The thing that's going to differentiate the worst teams from the worser teams, and even some of the good teams, I mean, I'm looking at my team at the moment, is just not having enough rookies that are playing. Because this season especially, this season 100%. I mean, if we look at your team, Xavier Lindsay outscored Zach Merritt this week. You know, Xavier Lindsay almost outscored Reed, he outscored Horn Francis and a bunch of other players. So this year especially,
not got the
rookies
rookie
are going to score
this
more.
Year.
Get rid of the dead rookies as quick as you can. Dead rookies have killed me. I don't want them to kill you guys. Then upgrade if you have the choice between the two. If you can get a primo and a dead rookie out, 100%. 100% if it means that you can save a Hewitt or Cleary because you know they're going to play every week. 3 votes, 19 trades, 1 boost, ranked 124.29. That's work, mate. You beat me this week. 126 in the bank. So we start off by analyzing. We start off just by analyzing how many primos are left.
Dead rookies.
So Bice out, Trainer out. So 1, 2, 3. You've got Lindsay, Trainer, and Bice. You can probably hold Lindsay just for a little bit longer, so you're okay. Priority trade in for ourselves is Simpson. So straight away, I'm looking at potentially a Kako to the midfield for a Simpson. My only problem with this team so far is McRae and Horn-Francis there. So as we spoke about before, Kai, probably worth holding a Horn-Francis if you can. McRae might be the one to trade out because it allows you to get someone big. I potentially would be looking at, I don't know if you're going to look at it, but I would be looking at you can do some funky stuff because you've got Kako there, because you've got Connor Stone there, because you've got Sinclair there. I would probably look at getting rid of Bice, moving Sinclair up, doing something with the money that you've got. Now, you can't get someone fancy-pantsy, but you can get somebody. And maybe a Kako goes out or a Cleary goes out for a Simpson. If you go, how much will you have? You're going to pull up your calculator.
Probably should use a boost at this point, I'm just saying, because that could be the difference between getting a Shea Bolton or getting a...
getting someone who's
getting someone like a... I don't know, like a Dale or something at that point. The difference between those two.
If you spend the boost, so... let me see.
If he was to go, say, a Bice, a McRae, so that's 517, 354, and then I would say, what's Kako? Who's got the higher break even between those two? I go Kako out, to be honest, unless you're cash strapped. We'll look at the options if you need it, but I don't think you will. Then you take away the likes of a Cooper Simpson, and you get... That's not right. I'm pretty sure you're going to get somewhere around about the 960k range to get a couple guys. That's hard to do, actually. So,
no, I got you.
It's interesting.
I got it figured out.
It might be getting rid of Trainer and holding a
473.
Or getting rid of Trainer might just give you enough cash instead of a Kako.
Okay, so James,
3.
Open up your team.
Forgotten the 100k.
Yeah, James, open up your team. You with me? Your team's open. We're going to trade out Bice. We're going to trade out McRae. We're going to trade out Cleary.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to put. We're going to put Caleb Daniel into the forward line.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to now grab Simpson for Cleary. Cool. We are now going to get the big Bont, and we can grab Shai Bolton and move Sinclair to the forward line. Move Sinclair up. Move Sinclair up. You can grab Bont. You can grab Bolton. You're happy. You can grab any midfielder.
I'd even look at someone like a Dunkley and a Bailey Dale instead, like a Dunkley, Bailey Dale, and Simpson for. I think it might even work for a Kako, McRae, and Bice combo.
If you want to be even trickier, if you don't care too much, keep Cleary for a week, trade Trainer out, gives you a little bit of extra money. I think you can get close to 500k. Let's figure it out. What's the team name? I'll do it on my screen because you can show calculator. Team name is Sheasel. Sheasel 3 votes.
126.
3 votes. Mr. James. Here we go. Pull up. Move. Chuck you on there. Cool. You can see my calculator now, James. So we start with your 129k. Sorry, 126k. All right. Plus, let's get rid of McRae, 517. We are going to get rid of Bice. 3, 54. We're going to spend your last boost. It's okay. Plus getting rid of... Let's get rid of a trainer. Do we want to get rid of trainer? We need to get rid of someone from here. So let's get rid of Cleary. If we can. Sinclair goes to the back line, which means that you don't have to get a defender in this week. It's okay. Cool. If Stone was here, we could do a simple swap and get rid of trainer instead. You might be able to get someone better. We want to get minus 119 for Cooper Simpson. Minus 685 for the Bont. 453. Is it 453? No, I think Bont's cheaper. Sorry. 1 second. Kai, how much is Bont?
Bont is 1 second here.
Right.
He is 665. So add 20 back.
So we got 473k to play around with. We've got either one midfield spot or one forward spot. Ideally, we would move Caleb Daniel down to here. I think he's okay to be a forward keeper. We would grab a midfielder if you can. Or you can grab a forward if you want to grab a Bolton instead. But I think you're doing a little bit better with a Caleb Daniel. If you didn't want to, it's okay. But it allows you to have Kako plus Simpson covering for Horn Francis. And if from memory, if everything works out well, let's have a bit of a look. I think Port have a rather late game. So you could go Kako Loop, maybe does okay against Richmond, into Simpson versus Port Adelaide. So 473k. You can grab an Anderson, you can grab anybody. Let's have a bit of a look across midfield / forward. What is it? Players I can afford. No, that's not me.
580k.
Cool. Across 2 positions. So mid forward. Cool. Who can we afford? Average. Let's go average. Matt Rowell, maybe the one for you. I would even have a look at a Shai Bolton in the position. I think he's very cheap. You may be able to use the cash to go and upgrade somewhere else. They're probably my 2 options. Can you grab a defender? Yes, but I don't think they're going to be that good. If you don't decide to go thingy into the back line, let's have a look. You can always grab a Matt Roberts if you don't have him, but I think you had him already. If you had a little bit of extra money, Josh Dacos is very good as well. But I think that may be the play. Spend up, use your boost, get in a top 10 player. Bontempelli is going to be fantastic. You're not losing much out in terms of the buy round, and then you still got coverage from 2 guys on your bench. So I think that may be the play for you. Hopefully that helps. Sorry, Jay. Thoughts on going Callahan, Bice, Matt, Hall, Green, Whitfield, and Simpson? Nice. I like it. I wouldn't get Coleman in anyway, so it's fine. It sounds like you've got some money left over. So 2 primos in, 1.5 primos out. I don't mind it. What primos are you not bringing into risk? Basically, anyone who's on the not again list. Kai, who's on your not again list? I would not bring Tom Stewart back into my team. He's not on the not again list. Who else? Post buy.
Surely, I mean, not again list, but just in general, just looking at the players that have sort of played well recently. You've got guys like even like who would not go in the not again list? I wouldn't be touching Callahan, Blickarves, even Marek to that point that I'm like, do I want to or do I not want to? Like, I'm sort of just like, is he having sort of up and down games? Who else? Somehow watch some people grab in like a Jeremy Howe for no dumb reason. Paddy Grips is probably also in that same category again as well. I just don't know if he can go a full sort of season of it. Scotty Pendlebury's way too old. Mason Redman is bad. Oh, remember the everyone last week, I swear, in my comment section at least, was looking at CJ and that game that he had a 59 after like back to back tons or something. So, and like guys like Setterfield, guys like that are just a little bit old and don't really score enough and aren't really the stars. Like, you're looking for almost the top 10 in the Brownlow at this point, or so. If you get in the top 10 Brownlow getters or so, you're probably going to have 6 or 7 out of the top 8 mids.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's probably the
Kono's going to be one he's going to have that week that goes 170, and everyone that has him is going to cheer, but then he's going to go like 50 the next week.
They're all going to suck him up. They're all going to be like, oh, get him in. He's going to be cheap. Yeah, there's quite a few players like that. Guys, it has been fun. I'm going to call it here, guys. It has been fun. 1 hour and 45 minutes, Kai. We're blustered through some trades. We're blustered through some questions and teams. Any player named Berry. Mate, Sam Berry murdered my season last week.
A ban on berries.
Hopefully you see us there tomorrow for the members live stream. Guys, remember, dead rookies off the bench if you can. Shy Bolton is a half-decent trade-in. This week, if we're going to bring in players, we are looking at Cooper Simpson first, potentially a Sims, potentially a Boxall, potentially a Binns, O'Connell from St Kilda as well in the back line. If you don't have him, I think he's going to make at least a tiny bit of money and looks to be playing every week, which is a great thing. Kai, any final words before we head off? Primos to get in. Who are your must-have?
Yeah, or must-have get-ins?
Probably Bailey Dale, number one. Bolton.
Dale probably is up there, as well as I think guys like a Dunkley is probably sneaking under the radar, as well as I think just a lot of teams don't have round 14 players. I think that's the buy that's going to become very, very just targeted in the next couple of weeks, because I know for me, I have a lot on round 15 and 16. So it's starting to get those round 14 players, even though I'm trading some out from Sydney and Collingwood. But I don't know who else has that buy, but definitely that's the buy that I think teams should be targeting, because I don't think many have players from there.
Nice. There you go. Guys, it has been a lot of fun. Members live stream tomorrow, 6 o'clock. The drive home on Thursday at 5:30. Kai, what have you got coming out over this week?
Well, I have a semi-functioning trade targets video on Tuesday, as well as a live stream for Supercoach on Wednesday, and then you'll have my usual Thursday videos for my teams. And then, yeah, I'm sort of laying back a little bit on the videos, because some of them don't, I guess, are a little bit defunct by the time that they come out and stuff. So I'm just trying to keep to the main stuff at the moment and sort of calm down a little bit before, I guess, I probably swap a little bit early into AFLW or something like that. But yeah,
there you go, guys. We'll catch. Will you look at teams in the 100%, Ethan? If you jump in, members live stream, that's what it's for. We'll be there for about 2 hours, mate. Jump on, sign up as a member, no dramas. We will be there. Happy to answer all your questions. We'll go through me and Joe at least, we'll go through the community team as well and all that kind of stuff. So definitely. It has been fun. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope it's been a good one. We'll see you next week. Members live stream, 6 p.m. Catch you, fellas.